Hey, do me a huge favor, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, reach across and slide that gravy boat down here. The big one.
This one.
That's the one. Just be careful with the handle. Mom heated it up like it's, I don't know, molten lava or something.
Here you go. Wow. I think she made enough gravy to, like, float the entire roast.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
But you see that. Look at the crust on that beef. And the color inside. Pink. Edge to edge.
Looks perfect.
That's because she actually let it rest.
Uh,
Most people, they get impatient. They pull it out. They smell it. They get hungry. And boom, they cut right into it.
and all the juice just runs out.
Exactly. All over the cutting board. You end up with dry meat and a wet counter. The secret isn't the seasoning. It's the patience. It's letting things settle before you make a move.
It smells incredible. Seriously. I was just telling Dad, I think it's been 3 months since I sat down for a meal that didn't come out of a styrofoam box.
I believe it. The city grind doesn't leave a lot of time for, slow roasting. And hey, speaking of the grind, I saw the LinkedIn update this morning.
Oh,
Senior analyst. That has a pretty serious ring to it.
yeah.
Congratulations, kid. For real.
Thanks. Yeah, it was just time.
No, I mean it. I swear. I remember you sitting right at this table asking me how to do a velo up in Excel because you lied on your resume.
Hey, I didn't lie. I embellished.
And now you're running the show.
I would not say I'm running the show. It feels good, I won't lie. But man, the pressure it's a whole other level. They basically gave me the keys to the model and said, don't crash it.
Well, the title bump was overdue. Did the pay bump match?
Pay bump is good, but
It's-
we'll see how far that actually goes in this economy,
Yeah, don't let the title go to your head before the direct deposit hits. But really, it's good to have everyone here. You spent all week just fighting fires. My week was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Clients panicking, underwriters looking at every single comma on a doc like they're, I don't know, forensic accountants. It's just nice to sit here, hear the game in the other room, smell this roast, and, look at faces I actually trust.
I feel that. The city has been a lot lately. Everyone is just so on edge. The vibe on the trading floor is, like, weirdly manic.
On edge is a polite way to put it. The world is practically vibrating. But listen, while you're pouring that wine, I want to talk to you for a minute
Okay.
differently. Not as your loan officer and not just as your uncle making small talk about the playoffs. I'm talking as your big brother who's been staring at these market screens for 30 years.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously. Because I look at you, you're 25, you're smart, you've got that starter home you bought a couple years back, and I see myself in 98. But the board you're playing on,
What do you mean?
the whole game board has completely changed.
Changed how? Because rates are high and houses are expensive. I mean, I get that.
It is so much more than the rates. I mean, the rates are just the fever. They're not the virus. I need you to look up from your plate for a second to just see what I'm seeing. We are not in Kansas anymore, and we are definitely not in 2021. I want to give you a solvency briefing, not a sales pitch, a briefing on how to survive what's coming. Because if you play by the 2019 rules in 2026, you're going to get crushed.
A solvency briefing. That sounds a little ominous for a Sunday dinner. Is this about the market today?
It's about the horizon. It's about making sure that 10 years from now, you're the one cutting the roast beef in a house you owned, not renting a pod in some corporate dorm. So let's start with the hard data, the ground truth. Did you catch the news on gold this morning?
I saw a headline it was up, but I didn't check the spot price. I don't really track commodities unless it's going to hit the tech sector.
You need to start. It smashed records. It is trading at $5,300 an ounce as of today.
Wow. 5,000.
5,300. Think about what that means for a second.
That's excessive, isn't it? Is that just speculation?
A bubble is not a bubble. It's a fire alarm. When you see gold moving like that, just totally decoupled from everything else, soaring even when rates are high, it tells you one thing. Smart money is terrified.
Terrified of what?
Of currency. The central banks in China, the sovereign wealth funds, the huge hedge funds, they are fleeing the dollar. They're looking for anything that can't be printed by a politician with an election coming up.
So they're betting on the dollar losing value.
They're betting on a complete recalibration of the whole system. And it's not just money. Look at the physical world. Did you see the footage of that Medicane in Europe?
The hurricane in the Mediterranean. Yeah, I saw some clips. It looked insane. Like Florida, but, in Greece.
A Category 2 hurricane in the Mediterranean. It just wiped out parts of Italy and Greece. They're saying almost 400 people feared dead.
That's awful.
It's a tragedy, a human tragedy, absolutely. But economically, You have to think about the second and third order effects.
Yeah.
That storm shut down energy transit lines, it closed shipping lanes, and it spiked Brent crude oil to $88 a barrel.
Overnight.
Okay, that explains the gas pump this morning. I filled up on the way here, and I thought it was just like local taxes kicking in or something. Nope. It's global chaos hitting your wallet directly.
Yeah.
A storm in Greece taxes your commute in New Jersey. And then you've got the geopolitical stuff. The U.S. officially withdrew from the WHO today.
I saw that.
So we're on our own. For global health monitoring, we're officially an island. And right on cue, we've got a measles outbreak picking up speed in South Carolina. The world is deglobalizing, kid. It's fragmenting.
It does feel like we're becoming more isolated and definitely more expensive. My health insurance renewal came in.
Oh, yeah. Let me guess. It was ugly.
Ugly is an understatement. It was a shock.
I'll bet. The KFF just put out a report, a 26% spike in premiums nationwide.
26%. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is not normal inflation. That's a structural break. For a family of 4, that's an extra $500 a month. Gone.
Wow.
Just to stay alive, that's a car payment. That's a student loan payment. Vanished. So when people ask me about mortgage rates, I almost have to laugh. They're looking at this tiny little window. Oh, is it 6.5 or 6.2? While the whole house is literally shaking.
Okay, so the macro picture is ugly. I get it. But the Fed met today, right? They held rates.
They did.
Okay.
3.5 to 3.75%. And here's the reality check you need to just burn into your brain. The pivot party is officially over.
What do you mean?
The market has priced out all those aggressive cuts everyone was praying for. It's not happening.
But I thought the narrative was that inflation was trending down, so they'd cut to stimulate growth. I mean, that's what the analysts at my firm have been saying for, 6 months.
Was is the operative word there. Past tense. The problem is what they call inflation stickiness.
Okay.
Core PCE, that's the one that Fed actually watches, right? Personal consumption expenditures. It's stuck, 2.8%. It refuses to go down.
Why? What's keeping it up?
Services, the cost of services, like that insurance you just mentioned, like car repairs, like housing costs, they are just skyrocketing. And here's the concept. See, this is the thing you need to understand today. If you take nothing else away from this dinner, get this, the neutral rate. R-star?
I've heard that term thrown around. R-star. But explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay, think of the economy like a treadmill. The Fed controls the speed of the belt. If they set the interest rate too low, the belt goes too fast, and inflation, the runner, just flies off the front.
Right.
If they set it too high, the belt drags, and the economy, the runner falls off the back. R-star is the neutral setting, the speed where the belt perfectly matches the runner. It's not stimulating, it's not restricting, it's just neutral.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For the last 15 years, that neutral gear was basically zero. Money was free. But now, the internal Fed models, the data, it suggests that R-star, the neutral rate, has risen to 1.5%. Real.
Okay, so the whole baseline has shifted up.
The entire treadmill has sped up on its own. The floor has been raised.
So translate that. What does a higher R-star mean for my mortgage payment?
It means that a 5.5 to 6.0% mortgage today is the mathematical equivalent of the 3% rate you got back in 2020. That 3% world, it wasn't normal. It was a historic anomaly. And it's gone. It is structurally impossible to get back there without some kind of catastrophic depression that wipes out your job anyway. We are in a new era.
That's sobering. So waiting for rates to drop back into the 3s or 4s is just...
It's worse than a waste of time. It's a financial suicide pact. You are waiting for a train that's been decommissioned. And before we get into the strategy, because there is a strategy, don't worry, hitting you with a few things that might make you choke on that beef.
Okay.
Call them dinner table gambits. Little mirrors to show your reality.
Yeah.
Because your perception of your own finances is distorted.
How is it distorted? I feel like I have a pretty good handle on things. I budget, I save.
Let's test that. Mirror fact number 1, the golden handcuffs illusion. You love that 3% rate on your house.
I mean, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm beating the system. My friends are so jealous of it.
You wear it like a trophy. But look in the mirror. With gold at $5,300, the dollars in your pocket have lost 40% of their buying power since you signed that loan. You're holding a cheap loan, sure, but you are paying for your life with weak dollars. If you have any other high-interest debt, a credit card, student loans, a car loan, that 3% trophy is actually an anchor. It's sinking your real net worth.
So I'm winning on the mortgage, but losing everywhere else.
You're high-fiving yourself for saving pennies on mortgage interest while inflation is just burning your paycheck on everything else. You're winning the battle and losing the war.
I hadn't really thought about it from a currency devaluation perspective. I just look at the monthly payment versus my income.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
That's the trap. Okay, mirror fact number 2. The Beijing rate setter. You think Jerome Powell sets your mortgage rate, don't you?
Well, I mean, the Fed sets the federal funds rate, which influences the bond market. That's Econ 101.
Wrong. It's China.
Come on. That sounds like some conspiracy theory from the internet.
It's not a conspiracy. It's just supply and demand mechanics. Look at the data. Foreign central banks, China, Japan, they are dumping U.S. treasuries. They are selling our debt faster than we can print it.
Okay.
So when there are more sellers than buyers, what happens to the price of a bond?
The price goes down.
And when bond prices go down, what happens to yields?
Yields go up.
Interest rates go up.
Hmm.
Without their demand, our yields must rise to attract new buyers. Your mortgage rate is effectively being decided in Beijing, not in D.C.
So if they keep selling, rates have to go up no matter what Powell wants to do.
Precisely. He loses control of the long end of the curve. He can control the overnight rate. The global market controls the 30-year. Locking a rate now is basically declaring your financial independence from global politics. If you wait, you are letting Xi Jinping decide your housing payment.
Wow. Okay. That's a powerful way to put it.
Mirror fact number 3. The oil barrel bond. You complain about gas prices, right? But oil at $88 isn't just a problem at the pump. It's a gun to the head of the bond market.
House.
Energy is the input cost for literally everything.
Yeah.
When oil goes up, inflation goes up. When inflation goes up, bond yields have to go up to compensate investors for that inflation.
Right.
Every time you fill up your tank, you are seeing exactly why mortgage rates won't drop. You are effectively betting your entire housing future that the Middle East will just suddenly calm down and find peace. Do you really want to take that bet right now?
Definitely not. No. It feels like a tinderbox over there.
Yeah.
One wrong move and oil is at $100.
Exactly. Okay, mirror fact number 4. The wait for 4% time machine. Your buddy Mark, he's still renting, right?
Yeah. He says he's waiting for rates to hit 4% before he buys. He's sitting on a pile of cash, thinks he's being so smart.
Tell him the new neutral rate is 1.5% higher than it was in 2019. Mathematically, 4% just doesn't exist anymore.
So it's impossible.
Waiting for 4% today is like waiting for gas to go back to 99 cents a gallon. He isn't being patient. He's being nostalgic. And nostalgia is the most expensive emotion in finance.
What's he paying in interest right now?
100%.
What?
Rent is 100% interest. You get zero equity. He is burning cash waiting for a ghost.
I'll tell him that. He's so stubborn, though. He thinks the big crash is coming.
He'll be renting forever. Okay, last one. Mirror fact number 5. The inflation subscription. You told me you canceled Netflix to save, what, $20?
Yeah. Trying to be disciplined, you know. Cut the fat.
That's cute. Meanwhile, core inflation at 2.8%. That is a subscription fee on your entire life that you cannot cancel.
Mm.
You're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. A fixed-rate mortgage is the only bill you have that doesn't go up. Consolidating your debt with a refinance is the only way to actually cancel the inflation subscription.
Mm-hmm.
You need to stop trying to budget your way out of structural inflation and start structuring your way out of it.
Okay. Point taken. I'm focusing on the small stuff while the big structural stuff is just eating me alive, so
Yeah.
what do I do? You said you had a briefing for me.
I do. Pass me those roasted potatoes. Let's get real. I've mapped this whole thing out. 5 sections. This is the playbook I use for my wealthy clients, the ones who get how money really works. They don't panic, they execute. We're calling this the matrix.
All right. Lay it on me. I'm ready. What's the first move?
Section 1. We call it the macro inertia shield. We're not waiting for the storm to pass. We are weatherproofing the house right now. You have to accept the hawkish hold reality. With the Fed holding rates today, the market has finally priced out those cuts.
But rates, I thought I saw rates dip a little bit today. On the ticker in my lobby?
They did, a tiny bit. That's the Treasury flight to safety. Whenever there's global chaos, those Brazil riots, the Medicaid, news of a war, investors get scared. And when they get scared, they buy U.S. Treasuries.
Right.
Because we are the safest house in a very bad neighborhood.
Okay.
That buying pressure lowers rates temporarily. It creates what I call a fear discount. But that discount vanishes the second the news cycle changes. You can't bank on it.
So it's just volatility. It's not a real trend.
Exactly. It's a blip. And you have to look at fiscal dominance. This is the huge monster in the room. The U.S. deficit is massive, over $2 trillion. The Treasury has to issue trillions in new debt just to cover it. You are competing with Uncle Sam for capital.
What do you mean competing?
There's a finite amount of money in the world looking for a safe return. When the U.S. government needs to borrow $2 trillion, they suck all the oxygen out of the room. They have to offer high yields to attract buyers. And for you to get a mortgage, the lender has to offer a higher yield than the government. You need to lock in your share of capital before they crowd you out entirely.
It's a supply and demand issue for money itself.
Right. And you have to beware of the soft landing trap. Goldman just came out and forecasted 2.7% GDP growth. That sounds great, doesn't it?
Growth is good. It means I keep my job. Companies are hiring.
Good for the economy, yes. Good for mortgage rates. Absolutely not. If the economy is growing at 2.7%, it is way too hot for the Fed to cut rates. A recession isn't coming to rescue your mortgage rate. Growth is what's keeping it high.
So that bad news is good news thing for the market is still in play.
Always. If the economy crashes, rates drop. If the economy grows, rates stay high or go higher. You have to decide what you want. A low rate and no job, or a higher rate and a paycheck.
I'll take the paycheck.
Smart man. And just look at the cost of waiting asymmetry. The upside of waiting right now is maybe you save a quarter point, maybe. The downside is a full percentage point spike if the war in Ukraine or the Middle East expands. The risk versus reward just doesn't work. You have to act now.
Okay. So that's the macro defense. What about the debt I'm actually holding right now?
That brings us to Section 2, the liability manager offensive. This is where most people completely lose the game. They obsess over their one low mortgage rate, and they ignore their blended rate.
Blended rate. You mean like averaging the interest on everything I owe?
Exactly. Let's do the math. You've got that trophy mortgage at 3%.
Yeah.
But you also have, say, 10 grand on a credit card because the HVAC broke last summer, and that card is at 24%. And maybe you have a car note at 8%. If you average that all out based on the balances, your effective household interest rate is closer to 12%. You're walking around bragging about 3% while you're paying 12%. We have to fix the real number, not the vanity number.
That makes a lot of sense. But my credit is great. I'm not worried about access to credit. I can always get a personal loan or something if I need it.
You should be worried. We are seeing what's called subprime contagion. Delinquencies are at 2010 highs. We haven't seen levels like this since the great financial crisis.
Wow.
And the banks are reacting. They're slashing credit limits for everyone. Even for guys like you with a 780 score, liquidity is just vanishing. If they cut your credit limit from 20 grand to 5 grand, your utilization spikes, your score drops, and suddenly you can't get that loan. It's a trap.
I had no idea they were cutting limits for prime borrowers.
They are terrified. They are tightening the belt everywhere. And look at the silver tsunami. Mom and dad in the other room, their Social Security CLA, the cost of living adjustment, it was only 2.8%. Real inflation is way higher than that. They're going to have to tap their equity just to survive. This isn't cashing out for a vacation. This is income correcting. We're seeing a wave of retirees refinancing just to pay the electric bill.
And what about student loans? A lot of my friends are just drowning now that the payments have restarted.
That's the student loan cliff. Delinquencies just spiked a year after the restart. If you have student loans, you have to consolidate them into a 30-year fixed mortgage. Get rid of the volatility of those income-driven plans that change every year with your tax return. Lock it in. Make it boring.
My friend Sarah, she's trying to open a bakery.
It's a disaster zone for small businesses. Business loans are over 10% if you can even get one. A 6.5% residential mortgage is the cheapest commercial capital available right now. If you run a business, you save it with your home, you use the equity, it is the only lifeline left.
And crypto. I saw Bitcoin was rallying.
That's the crypto harvest. Look, the Dow is near 50K, crypto is rallying. Smart people are using those paper gains to pay down real debt.
So cash out and pay down the mortgage.
Or cash out and renovate the bathroom. Turn the paper gains into a hard asset. Don't just let the winnings ride until they vanish. Turn your Bitcoin into a lower mortgage balance. Make it real.
That's actually really smart. Take the win off the table.
Here's another mirror for you. The $9 latte math. You're saving $150 a month cutting out coffee, right?
Yeah, I'm drinking the office sludge. It's miserable, but hey, I'm saving money.
But you're paying $600 a month in interest on the credit card you used to buy the coffee last year. Consolidating your debt saves you 500 lattes a month, instantly.
Wow.
Buy the coffee, fix the debt, enjoy your life.
Put it that way, and I feel like an idiot.
Don't feel like an idiot, feel like a CFO. Section 3 is the asset preservation defense. The price of your house is stable, but the cost of keeping it is exploding.
You're talking about insurance again.
Insurance again. Property premiums are up 8% this year. A refi creates an escrow reserve. It can buffer those shocks for 3 years. In Florida, in California, we're seeing climate foreclosure.
Climate foreclosure.
People are defaulting because they can't afford the insurance. If you're in a risk zone, you have to secure cash now for hardening your home. A new roof, shutters, so you can stay insurable.
It's like a preventative maintenance for your finances.
Exactly. And you need to be aware of shadow inventory. 60% of listings that were withdrawn, houses that didn't sell, they're just waiting in the wings. If rates drop even a little, they will flood the market. You need to buy now while inventory is stale and sellers are desperate.
What about prices? Are they going to crash?
JPM says 0% growth. The National Association of Realtors says 4%. Even if it's 0%, you're not losing equity. But if you wait, you lose the chance to negotiate things like 2-1 buy-downs. And rent inflation. Single-family rents are up 2.3%. Owning is the only hedge against your landlord.
That's true. And what about new construction?
Okay, get this. Sand scarcity.
Sand scarcity,
How-
like beach sand. There's a whole planet of sand.
Not construction-grade sand. We are literally running out of it. You can't use desert sand. The grains are too round. They're wind-blown. They don't lock together to make strong concrete.
So you need river sand or beach sand?
Angular sand. And we're running out. It's driving up the cost of concrete. The replacement cost of your home is rising faster than its market value. Your house is made of materials that are becoming endangered species. You're not just earning a home. You are warehousing copper, sand, and lumber that we can't afford to dig up anymore. Your walls are a commodity vault.
That's a wild way to think about it. I'm living in a commodity warehouse.
You are. And watch the regional shifts. The Sunbelt, Austin, Phoenix, that's all cooling off. The Zoomtown premium is gone. But the Value Belt, the Midwest, the Great Lakes, that's outperforming. You could cash out equity from a coastal city and buy 2 homes in Ohio. Be cash flow positive from day one.
Strategically relocating capital. I like that.
Now, Section 4, the future-proofing pivot. You have to buy the future before the future prices you out.
Is this about AI?
It's always about AI now. Goldman is predicting a mid-cycle acceleration driven by AI productivity. You need to buy in what they're calling AI corridors now before the tech wages there explode the housing prices.
Okay, but what about the physical side of AI?
Data centers.
Yeah.
Amazon, Google. They are buying up all the concrete and copper to build massive server farms. You are bidding against artificial intelligence for the roof over your head. If you don't buy now, you might find that the only thing getting built in 2028 is another server farm, not a 3-bedroom ranch.
So it's competition for resources again?
Always. And look at remote work. The hybrid model is permanent. You need dedicated office space. A renovation loan is an investment in your career growth. And have you seen the boom in ADUs?
You mean granny pods?
Accessory dwelling units, yeah. They are booming. You turn your backyard into a $2,000 a month annuity, it completely offsets a 6.5% mortgage rate. It's the highest ROI investment you can make in real estate right now.
And it solves the nursing home problem.
Precisely. A nursing home is $12,000 a month. A backyard cottage is $150,000 once. It pays for itself in a year.
What about energy?
EV charging deserts are a real thing. A home with solar and a level 2 charger is a gas station that you own. You finance it right into the mortgage. And digital detox tourism is huge. Buying a cabin in a dead zone with no cell service, you're buying a scarce asset. Silence.
Silence is expensive these days.
It is the ultimate luxury. And consider the private school pivot. Wealthy families are canceling $40,000 a year tuition because they're using AI tutors for the kids. They reallocate that capital to afford a house in a better public school district. They're trading tuition for equity.
That's a really smart trade.
Okay, finally, Section 5, the geopolitical hedge bunker. In a chaotic world, the 30-year fixed mortgage is your fortress.
Because of the stability.
Because the entire world is on fire. You've got riots and lightning strikes in Brazil. You've got military purges in China. You have Medicains in Europe. U.S. real estate is the global flight to safety asset.
We're the cleanest shirt in a very dirty laundry basket.
Exactly. And more inflation. Casualties in Ukraine just hit 2 million. Defense spending keeps inflation and therefore rates elevated. Don't wait for peace rates. They are not coming back.
What about safety here at home?
Identity theft is rampant. Synthetic fraud. A refi includes a title scrub and new insurance. It's an audit of your ownership. And look at the Guardian Home trend. People want gated communities. They want physical safety.
It does feel like everyone is sort of prepping for something.
It's prepper light. Sales of homesteading supplies are up 200%. People are buying property where they can grow their own food to hedge against the supply chains breaking down. And just look at the U.S.-Venezuela thaw. We are so desperate for oil, we're making deals with dictators.
Right.
That proves that energy inflation is the government's #1 fear. So you need to align your portfolio with the government's fear.
So own inflation-hedged debt.
Exactly. When the Dow is volatile and crypto is wild, a boring, predictable mortgage payment is the anchor that lets you sleep at night.
It's a lot to take in, but it makes sense. It's not just about the rate. It's about the entire structure.
That's the grand scheme. We are in a period of stabilization at altitude. Rates aren't crashing, but the cost of everything else is exploding. You have to stop acting like a consumer and start acting like the CFO of your own household.
Audit the blended rate. Marry the stability.
You got it. Use the equity you have now to consolidate the volatility around you. Create a fortress where your monthly nut is fixed, your cash flow is positive, and your family is insulated from the chaos out there. Now, pass that pie. I think I've earned a slice.
You definitely have. But hey, one last question. You've been doing this forever. If you were a fly on the wall in that Fed meeting today, what do you think Powell was actually thinking? Not the stuff he said in the statement, but what was really going through his head.
Oh, that's the $1 million question, or the $1 trillion question, I guess. If I'm Jay Powell, sitting in that heavy leather chair staring at the ceiling after all the reporters leave, here's the internal monologue.
Let's hear it. Channel him.
All right. Exhales. Imagine the room is empty. The cameras are off. The algorithms are done parsing every single verb I used. It's just me in the silence.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to talk about the soft landing. They want the victory lap. They want me to get up there and say, we did it. Inflation is dead. Go buy your yachts. And look, real wage growth is finally positive. That's a win. The average worker is finally outrunning the grocery bill.
Yeah.
But I couldn't pop the champagne today.
Why not?
Because of that number, 2.8%. Core PCE is just stuck there. It's like gum on my shoe. We hammered the economy with rates, and yet insurance, housing services, healthcare, they will not budge. And now oil is at $88 a barrel. One bad week in the Middle East, one tanker gets hit, and we're right back to 4% inflation headlines.
So if he cuts now and oil spikes.
I look like Arthur Burns in the 70s. I lose my legacy. I lose the anchor for the entire system.
He's terrified of repeating the 70s.
Terrified. And yet,
Yeah.
the labor market is flashing yellow. Unemployment ticked up to 4.5% today. That is my line in the sand. If it hits 4.7%, the soft landing becomes a hard crash. I'm standing on a knife's edge. Cut too soon. Inflation burns. Cut too late. 2 million people lose their jobs. Today, the committee chose to risk the jobs to kill the inflation. But the room was divided. Daley and Goolsbee, they're getting loud. They see the cracks. I see them too.
He knows it's hurting people.
He knows. He sees the two Americas. The wealth effect is confounding all our models. The stock market is near 50,000. The boomers feel rich, and they're spending. But the bottom 40%. Subprime delinquencies are at 2010 levels. Student loan delinquencies are spiking. Small business optimism is in the gutter. He knows he's crushing Main Street to slow down Wall Street, and Wall Street isn't even listening.
That fiscal dominance you were talking about.
Exactly. Congress is running a 6% deficit and an expansion. I'm tapping the brakes while the Treasury is stomping on the gas. And the plumbing of the system, it's leaking. QT ended today because the reverse repo facility is empty. It's at 0. The liquidity buffer is gone, and foreign banks are dumping our treasuries. That neutral rate isn't 0.5% anymore. It's 1.5. He knows the 3% mortgage is dead. He knows it.
What about the shadow banks, the stuff he doesn't regulate?
That's the nightmare. Private credit, the funds that don't sit in his office, they have absorbed trillions in risk. If rates stay higher for longer, and one of those big private credit funds blows up, I don't have a red phone to call them, and tech, Goldman calls it a mid-cycle acceleration? Maybe. But if those AI earnings don't materialize, and I'm holding rates this high, that valuation crush will be violent.
And his term ends in May, right?
It does. And he's looking at the operating losses. The Fed is losing $150 billion a year. It's a political football. The next chair won't just be an economist. They'll have to be a wartime politician. He's flying the plane through a hurricane. Half the passengers are cheering because the ride is exciting, and the other half are getting sick in the back. His job isn't to be popular. It's to land the plane. And despite what all the headlines say, the landing gear isn't down yet.
Wow. We put it that way. I think I need another glass of wine.
Pour one for me, too. And then we're going to look at your credit card statements. We've got work to do.
Deal. Thanks. This was really helpful.
Anytime, kid. Anytime.